I just share some time with my colleague, please? Yeah, Paul Galvin. 2 minutes or so.
So
Thanks.
6 and 2. Is that agreed?
Yeah. Okay. I'd just like to echo, obviously, Victor so passionately put, and Trevor. We are a society that's beyond crisis. We are a society in an emergency that is only growing and growing and growing. We've had 2 years at least of this emergency, so we've done nothing. It seems that we've done nothing, that we've ground to a halt. As public representatives, we have a moral responsibility to demand adequate resources to guarantee the provision of homes for our people. Previous governments have failed. They failed miserably. They ignored what was coming down the road. And I put that to Fianna Fáil and I put that to Fine Gael. They ignored what was not rocket science of the growing need of know-how homes being built and of the growing need of people and the growing of our population, especially in the Dublin region. Homelessness has hit thousands of ordinary families. Our whole mindset on homelessness has changed. Our imagery has changed from the single man who was talked about earlier on. The count last night was 100 and whatever, 9. I didn't take the full figure in. That's changed now. It's changed to ordinary families. It's changed to families who have lived precariously in rent situations but have had jobs and their children are comfortable and been looked after, who have lost their jobs in this downturn and have lost their homes because in cases of greed, of increased rents and of no social housing waiting for, a lot of them, at least 10 years at this stage. I'm also concerned, as another senator said yesterday, of the mental health and well-being of the 2,000 children who are presently in emergency accommodation. As a counsellor, an experienced counsellor, and with my mental health profession, I see those coming into my clinics on a weekly basis. The children are beginning to suck their thumbs again. These are 7, 8, 9-year-olds. They're beginning to be incontinent again, doubly incontinent again, and most tellingly of all, they have gone dumb. They cannot speak of their distress or their anxiety, and they are reverting back to infantile behaviour. They're refusing to continue to walk, to jump, to play. They're sitting in a corner dumb. They're being sent day in, day out, being reared in their own prams. That's all they have. They have to get out of the accommodation during the day, roam the streets and be accepted quietly back in at night time, as though they're an embarrassment to the owners of these hotels. There are other thousands of unaccounted for hidden homeless in box houses across this state. Every family almost with a spare room is offered their daughter, their sons, their friends, the whole family's piled into box rooms. This cannot go on. This is an emergency and we need to treat it as such. Let's stop using the word crisis. We are accountable to those in dire need. We are public reps and let's stand up to the plate. I also then want to address the idea that women's refugee, Fianna Fáil had a good talk on that. I think we need to take that in context of what the Women's Aid report was, horrific findings of the damage, the destruction, physically, emotionally and mentally to women and children. We need to make sure there is adequate finance and resources given to those who are caring for women and children in those situations. I'd ask Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to stop shouting from the rooftops, so eloquently put in some of their speeches, and actually support the amendment as put by Senator O'Carthy today, and also support the motion for rent certainty to prevent homelessness and to go some way to mitigate the increasing of rents and link it to consumer price index. I don't really have that much more to say, but I would caution on local authorities. The democracy does not exist as promised by Mr Hogan in putting people first. The democracy of councillors, of the elected reps, of their mandate, especially when it comes to housing. But the local authorities have been starved, and absolutely starved, of finance and of personnel over the last number of years, and they have found it difficult. In the local authority I work for, it's a 12-week turnaround for housing, which is quite good, and I think it's similar throughout. I'm just conscious that my suspicion, maybe my my mind working overtime in that when it comes from Fine Gael, it's obviously about disinvesting in public services, where I want to invest in public services. I don't want the disinvestment which will lead to eventual privatisation, which I believe is the ideology perhaps on my right hand side. Thank
you, Senator. Senator Devine, you have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you.